Bruins. I don't know if you guys saw this, but their recruitment took a big hit after the firing of Coach Deshaun Foster. 7 recruits decommitted from UCLA within 24 hours of him being fired. And these are like some top guys here. You got a 4-star tackle and Johnny Jones, 4-star DN Anthony Jones, 3-star guard Cooper Jaworski, D tackle who's at David Schwartzel, DN Yaya God, outside linebacker Ramzak Fruin, and then wide out Dima J. Riley. These are all 3 and 4-star guys. The only one that stayed so far is Micah Smith, who's a 4-star tackle. What's your reaction to this, Steve? I already see you shaking your head left and right.
Things are getting so bad at UCLA, they may have to start recruiting Asian kids who aren't kickers. That's bad. Really? But so here's the issue. This happens a lot. When a coach gets fired, Smitty, you were really young, but I don't know if you ever seen the footage during the end of the Vietnam War, the escape from Saigon, when all of the people who didn't want to be communists were trying to get into the American helicopters, and they're hanging onto the wing, and they're like, "We love America, bonsai," and it's like, "Oh my God, these people just are fine patriots, but we're gonna have to leave." But everyone's trying to get the hell out, basically. Yeah. This happens a lot. Now, if you hire a good enough, big enough name, and you pay them enough NIL, some of these kids will come back.
I want to macro level this real quick, Smitty. First of all, they had a 23rd ranked 26th class, which I don't really hold any weight to any of any rankings no more. But yeah, it is. If we think that's really like fluid, I don't think it means anything anymore because of the portal. But let me be honest. Johnny Jones, 4-star kid, O tackle. You know where he's from?
Where?
Venice, Florida. Yaya God. Other than Hamas. You know where he's from?
Where?
Medina, Tennessee.
Okay.
David Schwartzel. 3-star D lineman. You know where he's from?
Where?
Seattle, Washington. Ramzak Fruin, another Hamas. You know where he's from?
Where?
Spanaway, Washington. Can you tell me where the California recruiting is?
Where? Yeah, no Mater Dei, no Long Beach Poly, no Coronia Centennial. What happened?
Again, this is what the problem is in college football. Here's the prime example right here. They don't give a fuck about who the coach is as long as the money comes in. I didn't know that this was a first-year head coach who never has really done anything, and I'm just going to go there because it's L.A., the money's right, and I'm going to go there and play for Deshaun Foster, who played in the NFL when I Google searched him. That's the kid now that goes to these colleges, and that's how they pick their school. Let's just be real. Deshaun Foster failed in California again, just as SC has done in the last 3 years. We'll see if it pans out finally for Lincoln now that USC is starting to give money in and all this old shit. I'm curious to know, does this mean anything? Because I don't believe this means anything. If it goes to one portal transfer, which the NCAA started, and a guy like an Urban Meyer says, now it's time to eat, and I get back in. This is my realm now. They're in my world. I can recruit and retain, and he comes back. Let's just say, I'm just throwing shits and giggles, or anybody old school type of coach that knows how to recruit does this. This don't mean shit, because I'm going to go re-recruit better than that right here in L.A., and I'll flip an L.A. kid right now. I'll flip an L.A. kid right now that's committed somewhere else. I'll go flip all those guys right now, and I wouldn't even go back and get those guys right here. Not like they're 5-star fucking guys out of Mater Dei. These are fucking nobodies out of middle of no fucking Tennessee. Get the fuck out of here. I'll go fucking find you tomorrow right here in fucking Gardena.
Mater Dei guys don't really go to UCLA, though. They generally go to USC, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, we've had our share, but like at the end of the day, like I'll find better guys than that in fucking Corona. Come on, man. Stop.
Coach, if you could wave a magic wand, put aside all the politics, the budget issues, UCLA's philosophy towards sports, if you were in charge, who would you get to be the next Bruins football coach?
Here's an interesting thing I got yesterday. I've heard Jimbo Fisher's name, but I also have heard more rumblings of Urban Meyer, and this is why. And I'll just say it right now. I told Smitty yesterday, I got a text yesterday that said, Jarman, the AD, has been given an ultimatum. To keep your job, you need to hire Urban Meyer. If you don't hire Urban Meyer, you're fired. That's a word I got. That's Urban, a message I received. I received that
amazing.
Here's why I received that message. If you go back and do research, Jarman was a young assistant AD where? The Ohio State University.
Ohio State, okay.
He was at Ohio State University, so obviously they believe he has a tie. If he can go get Urban, he'll keep his job. If not, you're fired. I am all for that one because the chancellor, who I've been told is a Miami Hurricane.
Julio Frank, who I hear wants to play football at a high level and win. Yeah. So if that's the bar by the chancellor finally having a guy, here's the one thing about Guerrero, the AD at UCLA a couple years back that was there for quite a while through Toledo and other things. At least he was aggressive and had balls. You can say what you want about him. He was aggressive. I talked to Kevin Sumlin on the phone the other day. The reason he turned that job down was for several other reasons, but he liked Guerrero and said Guerrero was very, very aggressive in what he did. And remember, he hired a guy in basketball. Remember, they went to a couple Final Fours in a row in basketball and were starting to turn the corner and back and getting basketball back on track at UCLA as well. Yeah, and then they go through this AD transition, and for whatever reason, just like most other things, go woke, go broke. The UCLA has gotten horrific. Yeah,
administratively, athletically, and endowment-wise, they have no incoming money. From everything I've been told. So they have a bad situation. I'm hearing it could set UCLA back 6 years.
Ooh, and by the way, if you hire and you make it Urban CLA and he starts doing Urban Meyer things, you will never hear a word about the Rose Bowl being 45 minutes away from campus.
It'd be, oh, man, I'm going to the game. I know that. If Urban becomes
here's the thing. If you bring that if Jarman does get him, it makes sense, too, for one reason. Because obviously, Urban can control him in a manner. What I mean by control, and people get offensive now by that word, control means the head coach has to have full autonomy. If you don't think Nick Saban controlled the AD at Alabama, you guys are fucking crazy.
He was the AD.
Exactly. If you don't think Urban controlled the scenario at Ohio State, Florida, and Utah, you're out of your fucking mind. You have to be able to be full control and have full autonomy as the head football coach. Urban would have that if the chancellor from Miami is used to winning and wants to win, and the AD gets Urban Meyer, for instance, then guess what? He knows Urban's controlling the narrative, and now we have a pecking order of things that are all aligned. We're all on the same page for the first time in UCLA in a long time.
And JB, I guarantee you, Urban would flat out tell UCLA, hey, guys, here's the thing. I love the job. I like the money, but here's the thing. What's my NIL? What's my collective? What are we doing about facilities? When Mark Richt got to Miami, he was like, guys, you guys are not a major league operation. You can talk about your 5 national titles. I came from Georgia. He actually took money out of his own salary to help build the indoor facility. He said, guys, we got to get started here.
Here's a take.
Can't live off tradition. This is now an arms race in college football. Has been for about 25 years at least.
And I don't know if Bailey could find anything on this, but I got a good friend of mine who obviously his brother was my DC on Netflix, and I've coached Meat for a long time. Meat's a DB coach there and been everywhere. Been at UCLA, SC, several times UCLA. This is his 3rd time UCLA. Been at Michigan State. He's been at Colorado. He's been at Oregon. He's been at Arizona. He's been everywhere in the Pac-12. He's like, JB, our facilities are as good as anybody's. They have redone those facilities that are and I went up there one day. The 2 fields next to each other with the Jordan logo in the middle, and then they got the outdoor-indoor hybrid facility coming off where it used to be next to Poly. That shit is sexy. I'm going to be honest. And you walk in.
So they have upgraded.
Oh, it's unbelievable upgrades. It is sexy enough to win is my point, Steve.
Okay, because you're UCLA. That campus is beautiful.
Remember, they used to have an 80-yard football field, one field attached to a fucking parking garage. That's what it was with Terry Donahue and Bob Toledo forever. And so it has upgraded tremendously.
Now, I want to know what their NIL budget is because that matters. That absolutely matters nowadays.
The thing at UCLA, from everything I know, and they're butting heads between collective on the outside and the UC system on the inside. UCLA is a UC system that's state funded and state operated. And we all know we can talk about all the politics involved at UCLA, but it's been that way since I was a baby. So that to me doesn't matter. Terry Donahue won there. Bob Toledo beat USC 9 straight years there under the same type of situation. It's 70% Asian population enrollment. And now we
really? You missed the gong.
And you know what? Kevin Sumlin made a great point to me on the phone privately. UCLA has gone strong out of state because they're in such a hole financially that they had to go out of state to get the funds up. And the out-of-state players they brought in, Steve, just haven't panned out, and they're horrible.
Well, we've seen it.
And so now that's a lack of recruiting our backyard in California, which I get the dollars aren't the same because you're in-state student. But again, you're not getting no talent, so you're going to lose just to break bread, like just to break even.
Right.
Guess what, dog? Go get the financial aid money. Go get people in, the best players, and you will win because your fucking Rose Bowl may start filling up.
Urban CLA. That needs to happen. If you want to play ball. Because right now, Terry Donahue is rolling over in his grave. I talked to Phil Trainey last night. He's a big Bruin. Sad. Phil Trainey is not happy.
Don't you feel, we'll get off the UCLA thing. Don't you feel like this is the year you have to make a splash or it's over?
Yeah, well, you look, this is the reality. They went to the Big Ten, and you better be good in football. You have to be. And you could talk about your athletic department. If you're trying to win gymnastic national titles, softball, lacrosse, and you want to win the Sears Trophy, here's the reality, folks. 90% of your athletic department at a P4 school is about football. Maybe 8% is about basketball and 1% is about women's softball and baseball. You show me a good football team, and I'll show you a good athletic department. That's the reality.
It funds everything. So
that's fun. It funds the libraries and it funds the 70% of Steve Kim's out there that's on campus.
If Urban Meyer joins, you guys are going to turn to UCLA fans.
Yeah.
By the way, the old joke, and Bailey, get ready for this. But you know what UCLA stands for, though, Smitty?
I do.
University of Caucasians Lost Among Asians. There you go, Bailey.
You know what it is right now?
What?
University of Cerritos left on Alondra. Fucking JUCO. Fucking JUCO.
That was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. That was a good
ass. Should we get to my top 10 games of the week?
Y'all just did.
By the way, Cerritos College is on Alondra.
I know that was you a bad boy for that. Like, I give you props for props to do. That was all right.